Good evening, Red Rock Green, and welcome to our workshop, Jailhouse Customs. You guys are currently in our paint shop, and I'm going to be showing you your new guitar, or one of your new guitars. This is the Bad Moon, as you can see, and yeah, we did quite a lot of customizing on this guitar. We are quite happy with the results. Certain things we did on this guitar that we've never done before. So it's a first and only of its kind. I'm going to be running you guys through some aspects of the guitar, some of the customizing that we've done, and then I'll be playing you guys a tune, just to let you understand what it sounds like. It's a very bluesy sound that we've got, but we'll get to that when we speak about the pickups later. It's a very smooth playing guitar. The setup has been done. It's a pro setup, and yeah, I'm a bit sad that I have to let this one go because it's awesome. Okay, let's start. I'm gonna just run you guys through everything that we did on the guitar, all the parts, what's special, what is standard, and yeah, then we'll play a song for you. It's a mahogany body, mahogany neck, rosewood fretboard. It's got the normal standard trapezoid inlays. It's mother of pearl inlays, which is pretty standard on most of these guitars, especially the Les Paul shape. More standard features, you've got your three-way selector switch, your rhythm, in other words your neck pickup, both pickups together, and your bridge pickup. You've got 4 knobs right here, which is your neck volume and tone, your bridge volume and tone. You've got your normal standard Les Paul bridge, which is a tune-o-matic. You've got your 2 humbucker double coil pickups, obviously. You've got pretty nice tuning pegs, which is, you can see there, these are Wilkinsons. They are not locking tuners, but in a lot of aspects they're much better than locking tuners. They don't really lose tune. They don't really let the strings slack. It's pretty decent tuners. I love them. Your normal black strap holders, nothing special about that. You've got your standard fretboard, but what we've done on this fretboard is we did a pro setup for you. In other words, every single one of the frets have been filed, they've been rounded, they've been crowned, meaning that every single one of the frets are at the same height. You won't have any buzzing sounds on the guitar. You won't have any unequal play on the guitar, which makes a huge difference when it comes to the more professional players. You have a pretty decent carvings at the back. I'll turn it around for you. You can see right there you've got a howling wolf, and there you've got a wolf also howling under a bit of a skeleton tree, which is one of our own designs. I think it looks pretty cool. These covers obviously are protecting all your electronics. When it comes to your electronics, what we did is we've wired it 50 style, which is it's not something that gets done too often nowadays. I think Gibson stopped wiring their guitars 50 style around about 1962. Excuse me. It gives the guitar a much more mature sound, if I can put it that way. Mostly these guitars are very bluesy, but with this one and the 50 style wiring, it's got a bit of a country twang, which I found a lot of South African musicians like. And with the guitars that we've built, most of the guys asked for that tuning. Sorry, for that wiring. It's not the easiest wiring because in this little cavity you've got about 2 meters of wire, and I don't have the smallest hands in the world. So it took me about 4 days to do. Trial and error a couple of times, but it sounds pretty decent. It sounds freaking nice actually. And what the 50 style does is, where most guitars you have your 3 settings, obviously your bridge, middle of both pickups, and your neck. What most guitars do is your neck pickup is usually the strongest. It's a bit of a squeaky sound, if I can be honest with you. It's a very high pitched sound, and the other 2 are usually softer in terms of volume, and that's got a lot to do with the pickup heights as well. What the 50 style did, or how I wired this guitar is it's a kind of mixed up, actually turned around, opposite side of the coin type of thing, where the treble is now softer, and your mids and your bridge pickup is pretty punchy, and it's got a nice bassy sound. But in saying that, as soon as you put it on treble, you get that. I don't know, it's probably like a Telecaster sound. It's a pretty cool sound. But it'll probably make it a bit more difficult for the sound engineers, and they probably hate us for wiring guitars like that. But what we found is the guitarists love it, so it's all about them at the end of the day. So, all in all, it's a beautiful guitar. We really love it. It's got a semi-gloss finish. We didn't really want to finish it high gloss. The reason for that is, and you'll see with all your other guitars as well, it's going to be either semi-gloss or matte. And the reason we do that is scratches show up too easily on gloss. And you know, belt buckle marks at the back of the guitar, and cable marks, that type of stuff really shows up quite quickly on gloss. So I've actually, some of my own guitars that I bought that was gloss are all now matte. I prefer it that way, and I think most guitars do. It's got a nice soft feel on the hand at the back of the neck. Doesn't really get sticky. Even after a 2-hour gig and you're sweaty, doesn't really stick much. And obviously it might not be for everybody, the matte, but it is much more practical and it's much more comfortable. And I prefer the matte and the semi-gloss compared to the high gloss, and I think a lot of guitarists do. In terms of the front, it's actually it's quite a pity that we had to put this decal on, because it's got a beautiful top. It's a flamed maple top, but once we put the decal on it, it's kind of meant to be. It looks awesome. The decal is a very thin vinyl. It won't peel, won't come off. We've actually put a protective layer of True Oil on there. True Oil is an oil that they manufacture for gun stocks, which is probably where you get the most protection from. It's not a normal guitar finishing oil, if I can put it that way. The whole guitar has been finished in True Oil. It takes a bit longer to dry. As we're sitting here, it is dry, but it's still a bit sensitive. But the end result is something out of this world. It hardens to a rock, doesn't chip, doesn't scratch, and it is truly one of the coolest things they've ever invented in terms of oils and finishing. And there's many guitar makers throughout the world that actually prefer True Oil to anything else, to be honest with you. So it's a pricey oil, but it's well worth it at the end of the day. Nothing much more to talk about. It's got its normal 1/4" input, normal nut. It is, the pickups. You've got two Wilkinson EC30 pickups in here, and that is not stock standard. Those are pretty nice pickups, although they don't break the bank. It's not always necessary to break the bank. People tend to think that the more expensive a pickup is, the better it is. That is bull twang. That's probably one of the things that I hate most about guitar makers. They put expensive pickups in and they push the price of the guitar kind of twofold. These are reasonably priced pickups, but some of the best I've ever played on, and I tend to use them in most of my builds. Anything that requires a humbucker will have these pickups in. They are imported from the UK. Wilkinson is in the UK, and their service is brilliant. The pickups are brilliant. There's an awesome backup service for them should something go wrong with one of the pickups, which I've never experienced. And the wiring on the pickups themselves are quite simple. The grounding was done perfectly from the factory, so there's no issues of a buzzing guitar or noises on your pickups or anything like that. They are beautiful pickups, and I can recommend them to anybody. Even if you just want to revamp your guitar, I'd say take out your pickups and put in some Wilkinsons. They are truly brilliant. Other than that, sorry, pretty guitar. I love it. I honestly love it. It's probably some of our best work. It just needs a bit of a clean up actually. We'll do that before we ship it off to you guys. And yeah, I think that's it. And I'm going to be playing you guys a little blues number, a little country mixed in, so you can hear the versatility of the guitar. We'll put a couple of sounds to the pedal. I'm simply running through a RC3 loop station just to get my backline going. I'm running through a G1XN Zoom effects pedal, nothing fancy, and I'm running through a very low budget little Johnson Warrior 35 watt amp. I keep that in the workshop for when we test guitars. It's probably one of the worst amps I've ever played on, so if that amp is quiet, you know the guitar is pretty good. So yeah, here we go. We're going to be playing you guys a little blues number called, or rock number actually, called Taking Care of Business by a band called Bachman Turner Overdrive. Here we go.